One of the men accused in the killing of a local gun store owner is going to prison. Prosecutors say 29-year-old Jeremiah Jenkins was one of 4 people involved in the robbery and shooting of George Kumbis. Kumbis was the owner of the Shooters Depot on Leopard near McBride in Corpus Christi. Jenkins pleaded guilty to 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in Nueces County Court today, and then he was sentenced to 12 years in prison.